Welcome back to the Guerra Podcast. Here again with
Sam.
Carl, you should know my name by now. If you don't know, now you know. Today we're going to be going over. We're going to be going on Instagram. We're going to be reading some masculine advice. We're going to ask Sam if it's good advice or not, and he's going to say why or why not. All right. So he hasn't seen these before, so I'm going to go through some advice, and then he's going to say good or bad. All right. All right, let's see. So at Stay Masculine, most of them are going to be from here. On IG says, having options is not something you boast about to a girl who's into you. It's something you reveal to her indirectly through your actions and level of interest. It's her job to lock you down and show why she should be your girlfriend.
Can you read that again?
Yeah. So having options is not something you boast about to a girl who's into you. It's something you reveal to her indirectly through your actions and level of interest.
Oh, that's it?
That's the gist of it. The other part says it's her job to lock you down and show you why she should be your girlfriend.
So when I listen to that quote, it goes to this, I don't know if I would call it a theory, but this concept that's known in like the red pill space, but I also think is like evolutionary biology.
Yeah.
So this concept is called preselection. Have you ever heard of that? Preselection?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about when you
Pre-selection?
Yeah.
Is it like in the dating sense or
Yeah.
like? I would say it's when basically there's certain qualities that make somebody stick out versus the other potential mates.
So in the red pill space, what pre-selection means is there's this concept that when a woman sees that a man is wanted by other women in a way that they're already verifying that he's of mate quality.
Oh, okay.
You get me?
Yeah.
So
They're using their validation in order to further verify to them that that's a good mate.
because for the most part, like women tend to go with what the majority of women think. Like it's very rare to find like a contrarian woman, for the most part. So in a way, when they see that the majority of girls are after this guy, they're like curious as why is it this guy? What is it about this guy that makes him so appealing to other women, right? So that's what pre-selection means. So I personally do believe in pre-selection, and I've also noticed when I've been out with girlfriends and stuff, I've noticed that when other women are giving me like signals that they're interested in me or they're paying me extra attention, like the girls actually cling on to you tighter because they see you as, oh, this guy's actually kind of valuable. It's kind of reverse logic when it comes from guy, but from I agree with that. Like I don't agree necessarily that a woman should be, if you're in a committed relationship, I don't think she should be like fearful of losing you.
Yeah.
But if you're a high quality man and you have your stuff in order, like really acquiring another mate is no big deal.
No problem.
It's like no problem, So it's just like a byproduct of being successful in certain areas, just having a variety of mate selection opportunities, right? So if you're gonna be grinding or you're gonna be chasing your purpose or you're gonna be just trying to improve in certain areas, if you meet the archetype of a successful man, then just opportunity is gonna come your way. And if you're in a relationship with a woman, she's gonna know it, whether that be consciously or subconsciously, and she's gonna see how other women interact with you. And not only that, when you're like on your purpose and on your grind, you're gonna carry yourself with confidence, and women are very good at reading these things way better than men are.
So to summarize it, you would say it's good advice.
I think it's just common sense. It's
Common sense.
Like I said, it's a byproduct. Like, because it says right there, the way you carry yourself, and basically make her think that you have other opportunities, right? Kind of deal, right? Like, like I'm oversimplifying it, but what I'm saying is, if you're a man that's doing all the right things and you're increasing your every area in your life, right? If you're improving in every area of your life, it's just a byproduct. Whether you want it to be or not, you're gonna be a better candidate. You're gonna have more opportunities with women, whether you want to or not. Even if you're celibate, to the most extreme case, if you're celibate but you're in shape, you're getting your money, you're confident, all this, women are gonna throw themselves at you. That's just how it is. It's always been that way.
Okay. So, good advice or not good advice? All right. Make her laugh, cry, angry, and sad, but never be the guy who leaves her feeling bored. A boring man is a forgettable man.
Yeah, I would, through all my experiences, I would definitely agree with this. And it's also, like you've heard before, when a girl's mad at you, it's still showing that she still cares.
Yeah.
But you've heard that when you get no reaction, that's when she don't care.
Yeah.
When she's not emotionally invested anymore. You know, so all those reactions are they're gonna do those. A woman's gonna do that when she's emotionally invested in you.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree with that. And it's not like there's something wrong with women kind of saying like you gotta make them mad, angry, blah blah blah. But you do have to, you know, provide an experience. You know,
Yeah.
nobody wants to be just in a house all day alone or just doing the same thing repetitive. We're humans and we like learning and we like growing and we like experiencing new things. Even as individuals, we like that. So, but if you're in a relationship with a woman, I do believe that it's part of your job to make sure that she's fulfilled. If you want to nurture that relationship, if you want it to continue, it is part of your, but then there's also the individual responsibility that she's the one that can only make herself happy ultimately,
Yeah.
right? But there's a certain level that I do think the man is responsible for providing that experience, because if you're like in a relationship where the man is gonna be the one providing the direction of the relationship, then you're the one that's gonna have to guide that experience of what is you're headed towards, and you're kind of expected to provide that. It's like if you're running a company and if you're the CEO, you're kind of the one in charge of the direction of that company. So it's the same thing with a relationship. You'd be in charge of providing whatever experiences you guys are gonna have together. But yeah, I do agree that if you want to keep your woman, you do gotta keep her to experience new things all the time.
Would you say that people like to be challenged in a sense?
Yeah, yes. I don't know if challenge would be the right word, but we all want that. Yeah, challenge. I guess we all want. We don't want nothing that's too easy. You know, like I said, we want to grow.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you're in the gym and you're lifting weights that are like, I don't know, like if you're doing 2 pounds, you know, it's like nothing. Like
Yeah.
you just throw it away. Like you can't even use it. You know, maybe you start getting to like 10 or 15 pounds after you get a bunch of reps and you start feeling like a little burn. You know, it's like that.
All right.
You put us on it if you want to.
Okay. So I'll do this next one. So, good or bad advice? Women only fight for those men who are willing to walk away. The second you show them you're needy, it's the end of the road.
I would agree with that. So it's my opinion. Why I believe that women, when they get in a relationship with a man, part of that relationship, part of what they're looking for is they're looking for like a solid frame, and just a solid emotional state from a person. They want to have that anchor, you know.
Could you briefly elaborate what is a frame in a sense?
Just like,
Context.
for instance, when there's something happening, like a tire pops or there's some, like worst case scenario, there's like an active shooter in a freaking store or something like that, or you're in a bar and some guy starts talking crap to you and your girl. They're just looking for someone that's gonna maintain that, you know, that stoic attitude,
Composure.
that composure, not just go off the rails with emotion. So The reason I'm saying that is because at times your woman will test you and try to get you out there, try to get you out of your frame, and try to get you to have emotional responses. And they're doing that for their own safety, because if they can test you and get you out of your frame, then when you go out into the world is going to test you 10 times harder than a woman will in some cases. But if you can't handle her test, then she's going to say, this guy is not going to be fit for whatever the challenges life is going to throw at us. So how am I going to depend on him if I could get him out of frame? There's all these things going to happen in life, and how's he going to respond to these things? You get me? So, and part of that is that neediness. So if you're being needy with a woman, and if you're giving in to her testing of your emotional strength, all that is saying is that you're vulnerable to other women testing your vulnerable strength. And like if you're with her, could be thinking, okay, I could get into his emotions easy. Another woman that's also kind of knows him could get into his emotions, and then her relationship status becomes kind of compromised. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying or no? Like if she could mess with your emotions,
yeah,
then another woman can do the same. So if she has you, woman A has you long term, she's gonna be worried all the time. At any point, another woman can get into you and mess with you because she could do it.
Kind of just get you in a sense.
Get you.
Like, hey, what's up, big boy? And then like you forget about your girl, and then
yeah, because you're easily movable off your frame.
Makes sense.
You know, and neediness also shows like lack of confidence. It shows lack of options. And if you're a man with no options and no confidence, it's because you got nothing. You're just basically low level. And there's nothing that's I don't know if you've seen like those, like TikTok is sometimes full of BS, but sometimes they show like actual real stuff. Like, I don't know, some girls put TikToks when you find out your man is the one that gets made fun of in the group. You seen those?
I've seen a few.
Yeah, so I personally think that's true. They see it like it's a huge turnoff when they're like the lowest status in the group or just in society.
All right. Women are like cats. They need to come to you on their own. They're not going to come if you chase them.
Yeah, so I personally think that's one of the biggest mistakes men make. And I think we get this like a lot from TV and movies, and I used to do this when I was younger too. I used to see a girl that I would like, and she would give me no indicators of interest. Like, she would just be a random girl basically, right?
Yeah.
And I'll go up to her and try to talk to her, try to get her, but she gave me no inkling, no sign that she was into me in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And you can do that, but you're already from the offset, you're setting yourself up in like a chasing, pursuing kind of dynamic, right? So what I started doing the last few years, and it's been working fantastic for me, is I only choose out of the women that are obviously interested in me, you know, because it's like it's also on top of that, it is a time waster to be chasing women, right?
Yeah.
It's like a time waster. But if you're choosing out of the women that are obviously interested in you, because I just live my life, and then as I'm living my life, there comes instances where I notice that a woman is basically interested in me, and it's just on the way. You get me? Like, I'm not making them the focus, it's just kind of happening, and then I choose out of those women. And if you don't like if you're not getting any signals from women, or if you don't like the level of women you're getting signals from, is because you need to upgrade. You can just go for chasing women and it will work, but you're going to be in that submissive, like pursuing kind of energy for the majority of the relationship, because she's always going to feel like you're kind of inferior to her because you kind of like pursued and chased her kind of deal. You get me?
Yeah.
But it's also a balance, because women do like to be chased and pursued to a certain extent, but if you over pursue it, it becomes needy. It's super delicate balance.
I think it's more like, don't chase them, and don't, in a sense, in the beginning, obviously you don't want to get to that friend zone, but you don't want to make your intentions clear. You want to kind of like engage with them, show yourself off, but make them wonder, oh, does he like me, or he's just like this stud? You know what I'm saying? Like what I've seen or what I do is like talk, but not just like show yourself off, but not like in an arrogant or like an obvious way. Just like walk in and like, you know, make your presence felt in the room, talk, don't give that particular female a lot of attention, talk to everybody else, and then she's gonna be like, oh, why isn't he giving me attention? And then, like you said, they want to feel like they've accomplished something, right? They don't want to, if you chase them, they feel like you're beneath them. Like, yeah, I gave him a chance. Versus if you're there and it's like he's giving everybody else attention, because women like attention. Why isn't he giving me attention? And then when you finally give her a little bit, but it's in a way that it's not like, oh, I like you, then that's where they're kind of like caught up in that.
Yeah. But there are some instances where like women are immediately intensely attracted to you, and they can't even hide it even if they wanted to, you know? Like,
Yeah.
To me, those are the ones that I kind of go for, because I believe that basically that sexual tension has to be there in order for you to have a relationship, because if not, then you're going to end up in one of these like sexless relationships, because then in the beginning the girl would just be intimate with you kind of because she kind of has to, but it's not, she's never really had that intensity, because you could win a woman over with your personality and all that, but if that sexual tension was never there, that's how that sexual energy kind of fades, because it was never there to begin with. You get me? So that's why it's also important for you to be like, to dress well and keep your body in certain shape and all that, you know. There's a lot of layers to it.
Yep. All right, so she'll be an easier one. If nightclubs are one of her interests, they have in quotations, she's definitely not one for long term. Why or why not? Is that good advice?
I would say for the most part that's good advice. Because I've personally never been much of a nightclub person, but that's because I'm always working and I'm always at the gym. Like I have a lot of things going on. I could see myself going to the club. I've maybe gone a few times, but it wouldn't necessarily be a lifestyle to me. I personally think that when it comes to club, there's a lot of like casual hookups that happen there, or there's a bunch of alcohol and there's a lot of guys over there just basically trying to get laid, right? So if you're going to be in that environment constantly, I personally wouldn't necessarily take that serious. I do know that not everybody there's going to be like that, but I would say 9 times out of 10, I don't think you could basically find like a long-term partner, whether it be guy or girl, long-term partner from there. 9 out of 10 times, I'd say. If I had to put it
what does that show in their character when they're constantly in the club?
Well, depends, because there could be going with coworkers. They could be just have a bunch of single friends. They could just be depressed and trying to hide it with alcohol, or they could just like music and going out. You know, it would be like a case by case basis. You know, but for the most part, if you have like a younger girl that's still doing that, like if she's like in her early 20s and she's constantly like clubbing, I personally wouldn't take that as a long-term relationship.
No, she's not ready to settle down?
No.
All right, well, this will be the last one. Good advice or not good advice? Why are you scared of upsetting her? It's because you suffer from the nice guy syndrome. Your entire sense of validation is coming from whether or not she's happy.
Can you
say it again?
Yeah.
So it's, why are you scared of upsetting her? Question. It's because you suffer from the nice guy syndrome. Your entire sense of validation is coming from whether or not she's happy.
Yeah, I think a lot of younger guys are especially guilty of this, because they're not really set in their who they want to be or what they're going to pursue in life. So they're still kind of movable when it comes to that. But once you're already dedicated of who you are and where you're going, you already know how you're going to act to certain things. You're not, like, the older you get, the less worried you are what people think or are going to respond to your actions and thoughts and opinions, you know? So, and girls can read through that. Like, girls will test you, and you'll say something or do something, and they'll test you, like acting like, they'll test you to see if you'll switch up if they react a certain way. And if you do switch up, they're going to lose respect for you, because you're not confident and you're not keeping your frame, basically. If you're going to be switching every time just because people are acting kind of like they don't agree with you, then you're not real. You get me? And even if you're looking for a guy that you're friends with, if you see him say one thing when he's around you, but you see him acting a different way, then you're going to be kind of questioning him too, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just with women, that's just with people in general.
We say a key thing for having a frame is having your set morals and standards.
Yep. Values. Just find out what your values in life, what you find valuable in life, what are things that you want to pursue, what do you think things are worth pursuing, what do you think is worth defending, what are your ideals, and pursuing those with no apologies and not letting anybody get in your way. You need to find out what your vision is, and then you got to pursue it. And if a woman comes along and she's willing to, if she's willing to help you with that, if there's a role that you need her for, if she's gonna be an assistance, then she can work with you. But if it's someone that's going against everything that you're trying to pursue and do, then you're basically giving up what it is to be a man just to make her happy or to make the relationship quote unquote work. And at the end, it's gonna be a dead end, because if you give up, if you don't have nothing, or if you had something and you give it up to be with a woman, you're going to be with her temporarily, and then she's going to be like, this guy has no goals, no purpose, no direction. What the hell do I need him for? Because in my opinion, that's what women want in a man: direction and guidance.
Yeah. All right, that was the last one for now, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Stay tuned till next time. Good.